What's going on with the face fuzz, Jake?
Well, I had heard that you were growing a goatee, and so I thought that I would try and do the same thing, and then it just got out of hand, and then you shaved yours off, and...
But, Jake, how old are you?
26.
Well, yours is twice as manly as mine was. And I'm almost 30, so something's gone wrong. I don't know what's happened here. How are you? You look great, though. You do look very handsome, tan, fit, well.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you. That's very nice of you.
Jake has... That sounded slightly condescending, if you don't mind me saying. Jake's just flown in from Los Angeles to be here with us because you have a new movie out, which I've seen, and I'm relieved to say I loved, which makes my job a lot easier. Otherwise, I have to lie to you.
Thank you.
But you flew all the way in. I know that you're one of these guys who's very ecologically aware. I know you're concerned about the environment, like a lot of young Hollywood guys are. What do you do about your carbon footprint if you've flown all the way from LA and you're going to fly all the way back? Because that's increasing to the situation there. Or did you indeed have another method of transport? What do you do about that?
Actually, I didn't. I swam here.
Oh.
Overnight.
That will help.
Yeah. So, and then I just got a little dry and I put on a suit. So, it took me a while, but I want to be here badly.
I respect you for that. And also, having seen you in your new movie...
I gotta go, because I have to swim back, but it was great to talk.
Well, it was worth it, though. It was worth it for the song. But I've seen you in your new movie with no shirt on, and you have a remarkable stomach composure of muscular display going on here, the like I've never seen up close. And I imagine you could swim the big ocean if you needed to.
I could if it were for the environment.
Yes.
I would do it.
Yes, I think you could. Now, we just saw a clip of you in Brokeback Mountain. What a great movie.
Thank you.
Fabulous movie.
Thank you. I've never seen that clip before.
You've never seen it before? You've never seen it shown as a clip?
Only a million times. But no. Yes, it's a great movie.
Fucking start coming in here. We're showing you a gay cowboy movie. You should be bloody... what do you do about it?
I am. And I'm into the shirts, too.
Yeah, the shirts are good.
Thank you for that.
But that was... Am I right?
I like the shirts.
Am I right in thinking that that was very much a career-changing role for you, or is that just how it seems after the event? Because it was a different kind of role for you back then, and quite a brave role to take on in some respects.
I don't think any of the people involved in the movie knew that it would become what it eventually became, and yeah, it ended up being it has been so far a career-defining moment. Yeah.
A huge movie. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I watched it and I was a bit confused. Are they meant to be gay, or was that me reading too much into it?
Judging from your outfit and your hair. It's not safe to say, but I would say probably that you could assume whatever you want.
Because I see it everywhere, obviously. What a great force. And Heath Ledger, what a tremendous actor to work against in that as well, I would have thought.
Great.
Yeah.
He's great.
Am I right in thinking that script was knocking around Hollywood for quite a long while before it got made?
6 years it was there.
That surprises me, because now you see it was a huge hit and you can see it had obviously something of value to say. Why did it take so long, do you think?
Well, I think it's pretty clear. I mean, I think it's a sort of racy thing a story to tell. And then as soon as Ang Lee came on to direct it, I think a lot of people wanted to do it.
Great director. Do you know if any of the old school cowboys have seen the film? Has Clint Eastwood ever told you what he thought of it?
No. He hasn't told me what he thought.
He hasn't forgiven you then. You're unforgiven by Clint Eastwood. But you know, I'm sorry, but you know, what's wrong with that joke?
Wow, that was an incredible. That was one for the history books.
Keep that one in your head. When you're swimming home, if you get bored, remember that, and it'll wake you up again. We're just going to use that clip of you doing that with no explanation and put it on YouTube. Jake Gyllenhaal loses it on British TV.
I would love that more than the clip that you used.
Okay. Now, this isn't your first Western, of course.
It isn't.
No, you made a Western before.
I did.
When you were a little boy.
Oh, yes, I did. I did a movie called City Slickers.
You were in the first City Slickers, which I didn't realise until we knew you were coming back on the show and we were looking into your CV. And how old were you when you made that movie?
I was in 5th grade, which means I was 11 or 10.
So this is a very young Jake Gyllenhaal in City Slickers.
My dad's named Mitch, and he's a submarine commander.
Danny.
Submarine commander? He works for WBN Radio. Wait, let me show you how I pop my shoulder.
Danny, come on. He's in the gifted program at school. Come on, go to sleep, huh?
I remember shooting that scene in the classroom. We did it. I clearly remember like it was yesterday.
And the body popping the shoulder thing like that, were you okay with that as a kid, or did you feel that was kind of a little bit like abuse, making you do that in public?
The scene started off with me with a little remote control car, and Billy Crystal didn't think it was that funny, and then I was doing that on set, and then he said we should start the scene with that.
And when Ang Lee found out you could do that, did he try and incorporate that?
He said, you should play a gay cowboy.
Pop that shoulder.
Yeah, we have other scenes, we have outtakes where Keith is just watching me and I'm just popping my shoulder. It's very, very erotic. It's great.
Okay, let's talk about... Okay. No, we change the mood a little bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about the new movie, because it's a serious subject to the film, and we should address it with a degree of gravitas. It's called rendition, and that's a word which I was not familiar with before. I'm not sure if you were, but this is an actual policy which various governments around the world indulge in, including currently the United States government. Am I correct in that?
Well, rendition was started by the U.S. government, by the Clinton administration, as a sort of form of taking suspected terrorists to another country without due process and essentially torturing them to get information from them.
So they wouldn't do it on American soil because, of course, then there would be repercussions. They would do it elsewhere. So essentially it was a kind of covert way, an underhand way of getting to do something
in very special circumstances, and it has become used quite often.
Now, once again, this is a subject matter which I would have thought might be a little bit tricky for people in Hollywood to approach. Is this a movie, an idea that's been around for a while, or was this very much a new project that just kind of happened and you all went with it?
It just happened, and it was a really popular script when it came, when it first came out, and everyone sort of jumped on board. It was a quick from screen to script to screen.
And Meryl Streep is great in the movie.
Weren't you offered the part first, and you turned it down?
Meryl Streep's part? Yeah, I get offered all her parts first. You should have seen my test for Devil Wears Prada. It was a knockout. Did you get to meet her though? Do you get to meet, even though you're not in scenes with these guys, do you get to meet them? And...
Yeah, I mean, I've met Meryl before. I've known Reese for a while. I knew Alan I knew them all. I just never worked with them.
There's a scene we're going to show, a clip we have in which you're talking to Meryl on the telephone, but I guess she wasn't on the telephone. You were. No. Why are you laughing at me for this?
It was sad for me.
Yeah.
I was on Meryl's side, and then she wasn't on mine, but it was better that way.
So when she called you, you were there, you were giving her, you were acting for her.
I was acting for her.
And when you called her, who did you have?
She was here doing Mamma Mia. She swam all the way. And
yeah.
so
She's good like that. But did they even have a lady on the other end of the phone for you, at least pretending to be Meryl?
They had her and her takes on the other line. So I had her, the takes that they chose.
So you were acting against that. Okay.
Yeah, this is going to ruin the whole scene for you now. Now you're going to be looking at it.
Don't worry, they can make believe when they get to see it. And it's, we should maybe set the story up a little bit before we show the clip.
Okay.
You're a young guy working for the government, and you're kind of a little bit out of your depth here, aren't you, in this situation? What else is happening? How else could we explain this?
I'm a CIA analyst, and I've been put into this position unwillingly, and I'm observing the torture that's happening.
And this is the torture of a guy who's been living in America for a long while, and he's suspected of terrorism on pretty flimsy evidence.
Yes, and this is the scene with Meryl, who is the sort of head of it all.
Okay.
Mr. Fawal doesn't care if he gets information. He'll just keep trying to get information, whether he gets any information.
Is this opinion shared by Mr. Fawal?
No.
No. I see. You're new to this, aren't you?
This is my first torture.
The United States does not torture, Douglas. Let me tell you something. This is how this works. You worry about getting the information, and I will worry whether the information you get is helpful, okay? You focus on the job.
I was waiting for a more colorful outfit from you.
I've disappointed you. Jake Gyllenhaal there in rendition. Now that's you're in Marrakesh there, or
I'm in Marrakesh, in Morocco.
And you filmed in Marrakesh. How did you enjoy that? What did you think of North Africa?
It was fantastic. It's a great place. You should go.
I've been.
You have?
Yeah, I've been at least once.
And did you like it?
Not overly, but I will go back. Now with your recommend. I quite liked it. I found the people very friendly and the tea very sweet.
It's very well put.
Yeah. And how did you find the food?
Intense after a while. Tangines can be a lot.
And that's a
And you eat
tangine
them every day.
It's like in a kind of a clay pot, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's rice and
Couscous.
couscous and some sort of a meat.
Yes.
Okay.
It's couscous and meat, lamb or chicken or beef or, you know.
And how often did you have this, the delicacy?
Almost every day.
So when you were flying back and they offered it you on the airline, you
Jonathan, I don't fly. I swim.
Of course. Jake, let me ask you a little bit about your family, because your whole family seems to have been in the film business since you were a kid. I guess your mum wrote movies?
Yes, my mom's a screenwriter. Yeah.
Your father's a director?
Yes.
Your sister, of course, is a tremendously talented actress.
Yes.
And I know she's a married lady, but she's a hot patootie.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's...
Thank you.
If you hadn't gone into the film world, and it seems unlikely you would have gone anywhere else, but what would you have done? Did you have any other kind of career ideas or any other things that attracted you and excited you?
I love to farm.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Genuinely like to farm?
The typical answer, I think, would have been that I would have become a professional swimmer, but I think I'm going to go with farm on this one.
I was ready for swimmer. Farm through me.
There's 3 in a row I was going to go with.
Before you go, let me ask you a question on behalf of many of the ladies in the audience, perhaps the band as well here. Are you a single gentleman at the moment?
On behalf of which? The band or the ladies?
Does it with your career, does it matter, Jake?
At this point, yes. On behalf of the ladies, I'm single. On behalf of the band, I'm not.